Today I'm going to show you 5 things that I wish I knew before playing Zenless Zone Zero. So let's go. The things I'm going to show you today are mostly based around how to navigate the maze that is Zenless Zone Zero's different locations and menus. And the first one I'm going to show you is something I wish I knew from the very beginning, and that is the HIA and how it works. There's so many menus in here. I want to show you that if you go to the girl that's on the right, you can upgrade your character's abilities. So what you do is you go in here and you see all these different enemies and you have no idea at the beginning which one you should be taking on. And what I'd recommend you do is you press triangle and it'll tell you what related agents you can unlock items for. And you do that for every single one of these monsters. Now, I am currently trying to get Evelyn's abilities leveled up. So this is the one for me, hands energized. So I would click on that then. And this is the ingredient here that I'm looking for Evelyn. And then I obviously started by clicking next. And that's pretty much all you have to do. So if you have a character, for example, if you have Anby as your character from the beginning and you're using her, then you can do Notorious Doulahan. And if you just go through all these, you'll see which ones you need. And I'll show you how to unlock or upgrade your abilities in a minute. But first, I want to show you what happens if you go to the girl on the left-hand side. So we're going to click on her. And this is going to give you basic materials, promotion materials, W engine modifications, agent skills, and custom. Now, for example, I usually would go into the engine modification here, and these pretty much will give you materials that are going to help boost your weapons that you use on your characters. And once again, you can pretty much go and have a look at the bottom left of your screen. You see that it gives you 1 blue attack and 1 kind of gray attack. And if you modify this by pressing on X, you can add the amount of attack that you get. So I'm going to add 2 more of these. And if you look all the way on the left hand side of your screen, you'll see I'm about to get 10 to 15 blue attack modules and 20 to 25 of the grayed out modules. Now, how do you know which modules you need? So if you go into your character menu, so we'll go to agents, and then if you were to press on triangle for character details, and then you press R2 to get across to your W engine, and you pretty much click on the W engine that you want to increase. So the W engine is in the middle. I'll show you how to equip this in my next tip. But for now, you confirm, click on the one that you want to look at, click on enhance, and you can see that I need 20 of the blue attack modules. So this is how you know which one that you're looking for. So I need blue. I go back out.
I'll protect you from any danger.
And I pretty much make it as difficult as possible to get as many of these blue ones as I can. If you have any difficulty understanding any of that, please comment and ask, and the community will help you out. And also, you don't need to worry about this area very early on in your playthrough. It's nice to know how it works, but you don't have to go out of your way to grind these items at the very beginning. Try and enjoy the game and try and enjoy the story as well as you're playing. Just a really quick tip in between our big tips, and that is if you press R1, you can fast travel between locations without having to go to the van. Now, you will probably have to go to the van for missions if the mission tells you to go to the van, but when you're just going around the world, just press R1 and you can choose your area that you want to go to. My next big tip is how to set up your agents. So we're going to mostly focus on Evelyn here. We're going into agents. We're going to Evelyn and we're pressing triangle for character details. Obviously, if you're using Xbox or keyboard and mouse, the button should be at the bottom right of your screen so you can see which one to use. And on this screen, you have a few things, but the most important thing on this base stat screen is her level. So you click on her level, and then you need to promote her as much as you can. I'd recommend just promoting her as much as you can, especially if she's one of your main characters. And then you go to the HIA and get more materials if you have the Intronaut reputation required to promote her further. However, if you press R2, you are now in a section where you can upgrade her abilities. So I've mostly been focusing on her main attack ability, and I need to get materials so that I can unlock the rest of her abilities. For example, I have this one here. I need agent level 35 for this. So as soon as I'm agent level 35, I'm going to start unlocking some more of her abilities or more of her skill enhancements. And then obviously I can start upgrading her abilities here. We're not done yet. So we have the equipment section, which is if we press R2, we're in the equipment section. We need to have a weapon, a W engine on each of our characters. So each of my characters has their own weapon equipped. And when you are enhancing a weapon, you can just click enhance. However, you also have the discs. Now, for 90% of the early game, you will not even know about these discs, so don't worry about them too much. It's kind of later in the game where you start unlocking these proper discs. I actually haven't even unlocked the proper discs on this account yet. So you pretty much go to each of these 6 areas here and equip a disc. And if you'd like, you can also enhance it as well by going over it, clicking on it, and then clicking on enhance. And then enhancing tends to be quite cheap. So we're going to add until next stage using square, and then we're going to upgrade. However, upgrading the lower level discs is probably not worth it. Even the purples, you're probably better off waiting until you have access to the better versions of these discs. Now they only level up till level 12, so it's not that big of a deal if you decide to upgrade your discs, but you probably don't have to do that early game. As you can see, some of these here I have 0 out of 12 and 0 out of 9. Next thing I want to show you is something very simple, and that is at the top right of your screen you have a smiley face, and underneath at the bottom left of each character you have a smiley face or a neutral face. And when you're brand new to the game, one of the most basic things that you could do is to try and have a party that are all smiley faces. Now, if they're not all smiley faces, you'll still do fine in the game. It's just they don't work perfectly together. So trying to get a team with as many smiley faces as possible is definitely beneficial. So for example, if I was to switch Ben out for NB,
Standing by.
now I will have all smiley faces for all 3 characters. So for example, it explains here that when another character in your squad is a stun or support character, Evelyn's chain attack and ultimate damage increase by 30%. And her ultimate is very important. So it's nice to get that smiley face for her. When Evelyn's crit rate is at or over 80%, the damage multiplier for her chain attack and ultimate increases to 125% of the original value. So it's kind of important to get her onto smiley face, honestly. And as it says here, you need a stun or a support character for that. And when it comes to Grace, Grace is a little bit easier than Evelyn to please because all she needs is the same attribute or faction. So she needs another electrical person, or she needs someone who's on the same faction. And it's the same with Ben as well. He just needs a attribute or faction. Unfortunately, Evelyn is unique in this particular group where she has to have a support character or a stun character with her in order to gain the smiley face. My final tip to you is what to do in your spare time. And that's when you're not trying to focus on the main story. So what I would recommend you do is you go into your start menu, go to Compendium, and go to Raidu Weekly. And in Raidu Weekly, you can get some pretty decent items just for doing some basic stuff. For example, logging in or checking in at the store, go to the arcade, take some photos, drink coffee. And I mean, you should be drinking coffee every day anyway. So I would recommend doing the Raidu Weeklies. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if it was helpful. If it was, I will make more of these types of videos that are not only about the action and gameplay. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.